Disclaimer. John Ruzicka does not claim to be the ultimate authority on all things Shakespeare or any subject. The analysis you are about to see is highly opinionated, read thoroughly, and given some deep thought. Other analysis may agree or disagree with my thoughts or opinions. Feel free to have your own and give responses to this video and other videos in this series.
Hello everyone, I'm John Ruzicka, and today and for the next few weeks, we will be discussing A Midsummer's Night Dream. Today's episode is focused on the four lovers, Lysander, Demetrius, Hermia, and Helena, as we try to get a glimpse into their characters and bring them to the point we see them at both the beginning and by the end of the play. So let's begin, shall we? As is usual, I will begin this process by discussing what we are told in the script itself. For the most part, we aren't given much, but the biggest clue givers are Lysander, Hermia, and Helena, with Demetrius giving information at the end that adds to the whole puzzle. Aegeus is strangely one of the only two sources for the relationship of Hermia and Lysander. So what are we told? Hermia and Helena both state that they have been friends for years. In Act 1, while revealing their plans to Helena, Hermia states, "And in that wood, where often you and I, upon faint primrose beds were wont to lie, emptying our bosoms of their counsel sweet." Helena and Hermia are close friends in confidence. Later, in that same speech, she refers to Helena as "sweet playfellow." In Act 3, Scene 2, Helena, feeling grievously misused in her belief that the men are making sport of her, describes her and Hermia's friendship, which she sees as being torn asunder, as having been as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate, and as essentially being separate but one. So the girls are amazingly close enough that they know how to hit each other where it hurts. Later in the scene I have just referred to, Helena discusses what an angry Hermia is like encouraging the men to protect her from the upset Hermia. It is here as well where Hermia learns of Helena's part in Demetrius following her to the woods, apparently the one counsel between the two Helena has ever broken. Helena and Hermia's friendship is probably the most documented of the four lovers in the play. In Act 1, Lysander, he actually references the two girls' friendship, noting that while plotting to run away, and that the place in the forest he desires to meet Hermia was a place that he had met both girls at the same time to do observance to a morn of May. Helena even more strongly will plead with Lysander to return to Hermia multiple times. Now we get into the more vagaries of the relationships in the group. In the play, the next most documented relationship is between Demetrius and Helena. Lysander is the first actually to bring up the pair's relationship. Indeed, he is the only one of the lovers to speak of Helena when she is not present. Lysander says, "Demetrius, I'll advouch it to his head, made love to Nidar's daughter Helena, and she, sweet lady, devoutly dotes in idolatry upon this spotted and inconstant man." Later, Helena tells us that Demetrius had held down oath that he was only mine. However, the most shocking revelation comes in Act 4, although this has been set up by both Helena and Lysander. Demetrius confesses that before he began pursuing Hermia, he had been betrothed to Helena. Strangely, other than being told, they are loved several times, and bits about the courtship of Lysander and Hermia presented by her father Aegeus. We know very little about Lysander and Hermia's courtship. The most we are told of is of the morn in May where the pair had met with Helena. There is a line from Hermia. "Before the time Lysander did I see, seemed Athens as a paradise to me." However, Demetrius also uses the past tense of form of see when talking about the prior betrothal to Helena, saying, "To her, Helena, my lord, was I betrothed ere I saw Hermia." Seeing could be used as another form of love or pursuing in courtship. Of the relationships between Lysander and Helena before the play and Hermia and Demetrius before the play, we know little, and Lysander and Demetrius' relationship beyond rivals and Hermia seems non-existent. Of Lysander and Helena, we know that they have met in the forest for a morn of May before with Hermia, as mentioned previously, and we know that Helena thinks of Lysander before the play as a lord of more true gentleness in comparison to Demetrius. So presumably the pair are on decent terms normally, possibly even close terms, which I will discuss more when I focus on Lysander himself. Helena and Demetrius seem to have this unknown quantity about it. One can assume that Hermia has tried the arguments that Helena will use later in the play towards Lysander on Demetrius as he's pursued her and has failed, which may be why she does not bring up Helena to Demetrius during the one time they are on stage together and neither Lysander nor Helena are present. This may also be because of her fears for Lysander's well-being. Lysander and Demetrius seem to be testy with each other most of the time, but fall into an easy camaraderie at the end of the play, and no background is given on them save for Lysander's knowledge of the Demetrius-Helena situation. Presumably, the two men can and have gotten along, but their rivalry has made them enemies. While in the next few episodes I will be analyzing each of the four lovers individually, I thought it would be interesting to point out some interesting facts. Lysander is the only one of the four lovers to refer to Helena when she is off stage. Demetrius and, somewhat oddly, Hermia never mention her, even though Hermia has definite reason to her in her scenes. Lysander is the only lover to refer to all three of the others when they are on stage, though your mileage may vary with his references to Hermia, though as they are generally prompted by Helena during Lysander's love-potioned adoration of Helena. Helena only ever refers to Hermia and Demetrius when they are off stage, and Hermia only ever refers to Lysander. Demetrius, like Helena, refers to Hermia when she is off stage, as well as referring to Lysander. Helena stands alone as the one lover who is only ever referenced by one other when she is off stage, and interestingly, she never refers to Lysander when she is off stage. Demetrius' reasoning for never mentioning Helena when she is off stage is pretty self-explanatory. The two times he appears are both when he does not care for her, and it does not advantage him to bring her up. In Act 1, because he would then have to acknowledge that legally he cannot marry Hermia, and that Aegeus is providing him a loophole. I'll discuss this concept later. In his later appearance, without Helena, Hermia is too worried about Lysander's safety to bring up Helena to him, which would force Demetrius in other circumstances to refer to her, but he does not. Likewise, Lysander would probably not mention Hermia if Helena did not continually use Hermia while trying to hold him off. He also has little chances to refer to Hermia when she is off stage. Indeed, there are only two scenes where he is present and she is not, one of those being incredibly brief, and the other he's busy going off to find a good fighting place with Demetrius and not finding the man. Helena does not refer to Lysander when he is not present for an awkwardly similar reason to Demetrius not talking about Helena. He is not important in her overall wishes and goals, which is to have Demetrius' love again, given that practically everything scene she has is centered around this goal, trying to get Lysander to go back to Hermia, or in one scene, her self-hate. This makes sense. Hermia's reasons for not mentioning Demetrius when he isn't present are obvious. She doesn't want to think of it, and she doesn't want to marry him. She's more focused on Lysander and her relationship with him, which may also be the reason why she doesn't bring up Helena at all when the girl is off stage, even though it would make more sense for her to bring up Demetrius and Helena's relationship than Lysander. But then again, It could be she'd rather not be too feisty bringing it up, and so has brought it up to Lysander prior to the events of the play. So, now that we have delved a little into some facts about the four lovers as pertains to the play, as well as discussed the relationships within the groups, and some thoughts and theories as to why it could be possible that certain things happen the way they do. However, further analysis will have to be continued in the next episode, where we will focus on Lysander and his actions, reactions, and such throughout the play. We will also get a little insight into Hermia and Helena and how Demetrius fits into things. We'll also begin to get some insight into Aegeus' motivations as well as Demetrius's, though more on that will be unveiled when I discuss Demetrius as a character, as well as achieving a little insight into how courtship worked in Shakespeare's day, an important factor in this analysis. With this in mind, this has been John Ruzicka with the first episode of Analyzing Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Please give a press of the like button if you liked the video, and give your thoughts, impressions, and your own analysis in the comments below. Every few videos of this series, I'll be making a special episode where I talk about what you've discussed in the comments below. This has been John Ruzicka, signing out.